You've booked the cruise, you've packed your bags, and now you're dreaming of umbrella drinks by the pool. But hold up, before you roll that suitcase on board, let's talk about a sneaky little detail that can trip up even the most seasoned cruiser, and that is the dress code. Yes, ships are more casual these days for sure, but that doesn't mean you can wander into the main dining room in flip-flops and your "I survived Margaritaville" tank top. Well, I mean, you can try, but don't expect a warm welcome. So here are some of the biggest dress code mistakes people make on cruises and how to avoid them so you can look more glam sailor than confused tourist. I'm Wade, the solo cruiser, and if you find that this list is helpful, I would encourage you to go ahead, subscribe to this channel, make sure you don't miss any of our tips and strategies moving forward, and take a look at all of my cruise journeys where I detail for you from A to Z everything you need to know about a cruise experience on a particular line and ship. Let's kick things off. Number 1, treating formal night like laundry day. Cruise lines still love a good formal night, though some call it elegant or chic night. This doesn't mean you need a ball gown or a tux, but showing up in, like, say, ripped jeans or that t-shirt you slept in, that's a big no-no. Pack at least one outfit you'd wear to a wedding guest dinner is the best way I can encourage you to plan ahead. Think like a cocktail dress, right? A collared shirt, nice pants, or even a blazer. The translation here is leave the gym shorts behind for this one night. Or if you're not interested in the elegant night, the chic night, the formal night atmosphere, I completely understand. Sometimes I go on cruises and I have no desire to participate in a formal night. Make that the night you go to the buffet. Make that the night you decide to go and enjoy something else on the ship. Do not go to the main dining room, though, in those basketball shorts on a night like elegant night, on a night like formal night. That is a huge faux pas, and oftentimes, depending on the line, you will hear from the maitre d'. Sometimes they will send you back and say, it is formal night, please respect these rules, and we'll invite you to go ahead and change. Number 2, forgetting the pool area isn't the dining room. Nothing says vacation vibe killer like someone dripping pool water into the buffet line in their swimsuit. Cruise ships usually have clear rules, that swimwear stays on the pool deck. So toss a simple cover-up, a sundress, or quick dry shirt into your beach bag. That way, you can grab lunch without becoming a walking slip hazard. Number 3, overdressing for the buffet. On the flip side, there's the I'm bringing my ball gown to the Lido buffet crowd. Unless you really want to be remembered as that person in sequins at the omelet station, save the sparkle for the sit-down dinner atmosphere. Casual and comfortable works just fine in buffets. Nobody cares what you're wearing outside of that swimwear I was just talking about. Shorts, polos, summer dresses, sandals. Just not pajamas, please, but they are welcoming of all of the attire inside of the buffet atmosphere. And I have seen on formal nights where late night people will drop by in their tuxes and ball gowns and things of that nature. That makes total sense, of course, so that's not what I'm talking about here. But overall, you don't have to overdress for the buffet is what I'm saying. Very casual, very laid back, and it's an experience that everybody comes to enjoy over the course of their cruise. Number 4, ignoring destination rules. That flowing tank top may work at sea, but if your excursion takes you to, say, a cathedral in Europe or a temple in Asia, modesty matters at that point, right? Cruise lines, they even warn guests ahead of time, but some travelers still show up shocked when asked to cover shoulders or knees. Look, if you are traveling to a different country and you don't have an understanding as to their culture and you think maybe I'm going on this excursion because I'm seeking to understand their culture, look ahead. Think about where you're going. Think about the customs. Think about the way in which they show respect in their culture, and try and do that. You can pack a lightweight scarf, a shawl, or longer shorts, right? They're easy to throw on and easy to stay respectful. Number 5, thinking shoes are optional, and that applies everywhere. Poolside, sure. Specialty restaurant, definitely not. Some cruise restaurants won't seat you without proper footwear. Flip-flops and Crocs, they don't always count. Bring at least one pair of nice sandals or closed-toed shoes for the evenings, and bonus, they also help when decks get slippery. Number 6, mixing gym wear with dinner wear. Athleisure is great for lounging, but unless you're dining at Planet Fitness at Sea, those sweatpants don't belong in the dining room. Even if they're designer sweats, I know you're proud. Save the gym clothes for the gym, right? Swap them for chinos, jeans without holes, or a simple dress when it's time to eat. This is always a really hot topic anytime you look at, say, like a Facebook cruise group. This question gets asked, I feel like monthly in every cruise group. Can I wear dress shorts to dinner in the main dining room? And oh my gosh, heads explode. People get very passionate when it comes to what you should wear to the main dining room and when, and whether or not something is appropriate. Again, cruise lines have gotten very casual over the years, and places like Norwegian, right? They do the very, very casual setup where you cruise freestyle, as they call it, and they really don't care what you wear, right? They really don't have a preference, but most cruise lines at least have some simple standards that they still require to be met. So I understand that there's a lot of passion around the subject, but do your own research. Make sure that the cruise line you will be on, make sure you understand exactly what the expectations are of you when it is time to go to dinner. And finally, forgetting cruise line differences. This kind of goes with what I was just saying. Like, not all dress codes are created equal. Virgin Voyages, they don't have formal nights. Wear what you want. As long as you're fabulous, that's all that matters. Cunard, expect full-on gowns and tuxedos for themed gala nights. Carnival, more casual chic with optional dress-up. So seriously, check your cruise line's website before you pack. A 2-minute read can really save you from awkward stares or potentially being turned away at the door. And when all else fails, if you missed the memo, right, and you didn't do your research, most of the time you can rely on the buffet. But, it gets boring after a while, right? You want to try the different experiences on board. You want to be able to go to the main dining room and not just hit up that buffet all the time. You want those things because it's a part of the experience. So, again, make sure you do your research in advance. And the truth is, most cruise dress codes aren't about being fancy. They're more about being respectful to the vibe, to the staff, and really to your fellow passengers. If you can avoid looking like you just rolled out of bed or straight off a treadmill, I think you'll be just fine. So, pack smart, mix casual with classy, and remember, confidence, it is the best outfit you can wear on board. Go enjoy yourself, wear what you'd like, but remember which line you are deciding to take a cruise on. It can really make a difference in the long run. Are you interested in seeing how Carnival stacks up against Norwegian Cruise Line? I did a side-by-side comparison of a lot of different elements from both cruise lines, especially nowadays when people are considering options out there as certain loyalty programs get overhauled in certain places, if you know what I mean. Go ahead and check out that video on the right if you're interested, and for other cruise tips and journeys, check out that video on the left. For the Solo Cruiser, I'm Wade. We'll see you next time.